All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his act being 7 ages. These words are best described by Jacques from William Shakespeare's As You Like It, which was written in 1600. When I was in the 6th grade, I had a teacher who introduced William Shakespeare to my life, and now, almost 9 years later, I'm still fascinated by him and his works. Hello, my name is Ashley Thigpen, and today I would like to introduce you to myself. I will be doing this by explaining, if I could go back into time, who I would travel to meet and learn from. I must first explain to you, however, this person's life, and then I will also explain to you how he is still remembered today, and finally I will inform you of what I would ask him if I were able to go through time to meet him. After reading his 154 sonnets and 37 plays, I would travel through time to meet William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare died almost 400 years ago, and yet every writer admires him and wants to challenge themselves to be just like him. Shakespeare was born on April 23, 1564, and died on April 23, 1616. That is exactly 52 years later. It's suggested that he died from typhus, which is also called the New Fever, or of too much drinking. The real reason is still unknown. He was buried in the floor of the same church of which he was christened, on Stratford-upon-Avon. When it comes to his plays, out of the 37, only 36 remain. One was lost completely to time. It was also once rumored that Elizabeth I wrote all of Shakespeare's works. This rumor is highly doubted by many scholars. As an aspiring writer myself, knowing of his successes only encourages me to write. Ever since I was in the 6th grade, I wanted to be just like him, although at the time I never understood how raunchy most of his work was. Students are constantly taking the knowledge they are putting it into their performing arts and sometimes even to outer space, and that's no different when it comes to their Shakespeare knowledge. The moons of Uranus are named after William Shakespeare's plays. 2 moons found in 1787 were named Oberon and Titania after characters from A Midsummer Night's Dream. 1 moon found in 1986 was named Juliet after Romeo and Juliet. And in 1997, 2 moons were named Caliban and Siocrax after characters in The Tempest. Also, many performing artists have used Shakespeare's plays as inspiration. Sergei Prokofiev ballet was called Romeo and Juliet and is based off of Shakespeare's play. Giuseppe Verdi's operas Macbeth and Othello are also based off of Shakespearean manuscripts. And Felix Mendelssohn's orchestral overture A Midsummer Night's Dream is in honor of Shakespeare. Between 1890 and 1891, a Shakespearean fanatic brought all the birds in Shakespeare's plays to the U.S. that were not native here. The most famous was known as the starling. This bird was so destructive it ruined grain crops and fruit crops, and also took over the nests of other birds and mimicked their songs when it sang. It's also known that Abraham Lincoln enjoyed reading William Shakespeare, and even Thomas Edison's mother read Shakespeare to him as a child. It takes a strong and highly influential person to affect that many people, and to think it wasn't even until after his death that any of his work were published. There are so many things that I would ask William Shakespeare if I were able to, that no book or website or expert could answer. The first thing I would ask Shakespeare would be what would motivate him to write, and what he did about writer's block. As an aspiring writer, that's something that I've never been able to figure out for myself. I would also ask for a special tour of the Globe Theatre, where I would want him to pinpoint where he found the most creative spots to write, and how he felt being on stage as he played Adam in the original showing of As You Like It, and the Ghost in Hamlet. I will also ask him to show me exactly on that stage where Romeo and Juliet's famous first kiss ever took place. And last but not least, I would ask Shakespeare to tell me how he really did die. Was it from murder? Was it kidney disease? Was it the fever? Or was he really just drunk? In closing, I hope that explaining the person who I would travel through time to meet gave you a better idea of who I am as a fellow classmate. I have informed you about William Shakespeare's brief life. I have told you all about how he's remembered, and I've also informed you of what I would ask him if I could meet him myself. all the world really is a stage, and all the people in the world do have different scenes on different stages. Shakespeare's noticed this, and he took the words and he put them on paper in such an eloquent way that it's hard not to be jealous of his writing genius.